I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. Wait, I thought the United States was a democracy. Why does the Pledge of Allegiance talk about a republic?
That's a great question. By the 1700s and the American Revolution, the words democracy and republic were used interchangeably, and they both meant that the power to govern was held by the people rather than a king. The word democracy comes from the ancient Greeks and means rule by the people. The word's original meaning refers to the direct democracy of ancient Greece, one person, one vote. Republic comes from ancient Rome and means public good or country. It usually refers to a representative democracy where the people elect representatives to govern them. Maybe taking a closer look at ancient Rome will help you understand a republic better. Way back when, the Romans were ruled by the Etruscans, but in 509 BC, the Romans overthrew the last Etruscan king and set up their first republic, a government in which elected officials governed for the people. While the upper-class citizens of Rome, or Patricians, had the land and the wealth, and they set up a republic for themselves. Most of the power was given to the Senate, 300 patricians elected by patricians. Senators ruled for life and appointed government officials. Two other elected officials were called consuls. They shared command of the army and, advised by the Senate, created laws. The Republic gave Rome a more democratic form of government, but only the wealthy patricians could participate. It was a start, but let's talk about the plebeians, or the common people, the peasants, laborers, craftspeople, shopkeepers, and soldiers. The plebeians made up 95% of the population of Rome. So do the math. 5% of the population were patricians, and they were ruling and creating laws for everyone. In addition, laws weren't written down, so patricians could change them or interpret them any way they wanted.
Didn't the plebeians think the government was unfair? Doesn't sound like a democracy to me.
You're absolutely right. The plebeians were mad and began to demand more political rights, but they had no power. The struggle between the plebeians and patricians became known as the conflict of orders, a fight between two social classes. The plebeians especially resented having to fight in the army, even though it was the patricians who decided to go to war. So in 494 BCE, the plebeians united and struck back. The working class went on strike. The plebeians actually left Rome, camped on a nearby hill, and refused to return until the patricians met their demands. Work in the city and on the farms came to a halt, and there was no army. The historian Livy wrote, "A great panic seized the city." With the city of Rome falling apart and open to attack, the patricians had little choice but to give in to the demands of the plebeians. So the Roman Republic got an overhaul, and the plebeians got to elect officials called tribunes of the plebes. The 10 tribunes represented the plebeians in the Senate and with the consuls. They had the power to veto or overrule actions by the Senate and government officials.
Hey, our president has the power to veto a bill too.
True. They also got a lawmaking body called the Council of Plebes. They could make laws, but only the plebeians had to follow them. The Roman Republic didn't change overnight, and for the next 200 years, the plebeians continued to fight for equality. In the end, patricians agreed to write down the laws on the 12 tables, to make one of the 2 consuls a plebeian, to let plebeians into the Senate, to allow plebeians to pass laws for all Roman citizens, to let plebeian assemblies vote on laws and nominate consuls, tribunes, and members of the Senate. Rome's republican form of government was the foundation of future European and American governments, a government ruled by basic laws or a constitution. The ideas of elected assemblies, like our Senate and House of Representatives, a governing body with checks and balances to limit power, like veto. But most importantly, Rome introduced the spirit of republicanism, a government that should rule for the good of the people. So our flag stands for the Republic of the United States of America, where our elected officials promise to rule as one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.